Good day all, welcome back to StudyNest. So, today I have got 3 tricks for finding out the number of squares in a given figure. I have already done a video on finding out the number of triangles in my previous video, so I'm going to link it in the description. So, without any further delay, let's jump on to the video. Trick number 1. So in trick number 1, there are 2 cases. Number 1, the column and the row are not equal. So here we have 3 on this side and 5 on this side. So when the column and row are not same, then we use this. All we have to do is multiply the highest number in both the cases. So here it is 3 times 5. Hey, hold down. It's not completed yet. Next, you have to decrease one number from both the sides. It's going to be 2 times 4. Then decrease again. Decrease again. It's going to be 1 times 3. Then decrease again. And then decrease again, and it's going to be 0 times 2. Whenever you get a 0, it means you have to stop. Alright, now let's find the answer. 15, 8, 3 and 0. Now add them up. You get the answer. 26 is our answer. So the number of squares is 26. Now here the second case is where both the column and row are the same. When column and row are the same, you can use the same thing. But I'm going to tell you another formula too. So all you have to do is take the square of these numbers, or in simple words, you have to, now here we have 1, so we have to multiply 1 times 1, which is the square of 1. Then 2 times 2, which is 4. Then 3 times 3, which is 9. Don't remember the square and all stuff. We'll get confused. So just remember that you have to multiply with the number itself until this number or this number, like the number of columns or rows. So 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have to add them up. So when we add this up, we get the answer as 30. So the number of squares, all you have to do is just multiply this like C into C. Then all you have to do is like, or you can think like you have to multiply this like 1 into 1 and 1 into 1, then 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 4 into 4. You can either remember like that. So, and then you have to add them up at the end, and that's all. That's the number of squares. Now you can use this method also to find out the number of squares. Let me show you how. Now we have 4 times 4, right? So we have 4 times 4, then 3 times 3, then 2 times 2, then 1 times 1. See, it's the same thing, but it's in a reverse order. So 16, 9, 4 and 1. When we add them up, we get 30. So in both the cases, it's the same. You can either use this method or this method, but this only works when there are equal number of rows and columns. This is only possible when column equals row. So you can, for this when there are like equal number of things, you can use either this or this, but when it's not equal, then you have to use only this. Heading over to trick number 2. So before we get on to these gigantic figures, let's solve this small chunnu guy, like very small guy. So here we have 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and total the outer one, which is 5 squares. So there are total 5 squares. Alright, now let's solve this using this formula. I'm going to tell you how. So whenever there's a plus forming inside a square, it means 5. Just remember that point. Now here there's a plus forming in the square, so we name it 5. Now here also in this box there's a plus forming, So this is also 5. Now here in the small box also there is a plus forming. So this is also 5. Now 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So the number of squares equals 15. Very easy, isn't it? Now let's move to this gigantic figure. Nothing to worry. So first let's remove all these extra lines. Let's remove these boxes, and now you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 like on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 on this side. So we can use our trick number 1 and solve this up. So in our trick number 1 it's the same. So I think I'm gonna go with this 4 times 4, 3 times 3, 2 times 2, and 1 times 1, which is going to give us 16, 9, 4, 1, which we add up, we get 30. So this is half of the answer. Don't think this is the answer yet. We have to solve these crosses and boxes too. Now 30 is just the number of boxes, like number of squares excluding these small boxes. Now we have to count the number of things in these boxes too. So what did I say here? If there's a plus forming, it's 5 squares. And I showed you how also. So here there's a plus forming, right? So this is 5. Now here also there is a plus forming, so this is also 5. Here also there is a plus forming, so this is also 5. And here also there is a plus forming, so this is also 5. Now 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Oh my god, so many pluses. Which is going to give us 20. Now we add our this answer and this answer, to which we get 50. So there are 50 squares. La, 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 la. Now our last trick of the day. Trick number 3. Now you may get these is like one of the common figures that is given, but you can solve it in a snap. So all you have to do is, now what did I say in that time? In the trick number 2, I said if there's a plus forming, it is 5. So this is 5, but there's this extra diagram, right? So you know, like this is nothing but a square. Just have to see it from a different angle. So this is also 1. Now 5 squares plus 1 square is 6. So whenever we get a square which has a plus and a diamond inside it, then it is 6. Alright, now let's head on to this gigantic figure. Here, as you can see, this outer figure and this inside figure is forming the same figure that we discussed about here. So this is going to be 6. Agreed? Okay, now let's move on to these tiny squares. Now here also you can see that there is the same figure forming again. That is this figure. So this is also 6 again. This one. Now here we see that only a box is forming with the plus. What did we discuss in trick number 2? If such a figure is forming, then it is 5 squares. So here we write down 5. Now we have to add it up, to which we get 17 as the answer. Wow, those 3 tricks were absolutely mind-blowing. So those were the 3 tricks that I wanted to discuss with you, so that you do well in your next quizzes or exams, or whenever you have to find the number of squares. So yeah, that's it today. I hope you enjoyed. A big thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe for my daily updates, so you get many more tips like this. Until next video, goodbye.